What's up everyone, welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going through 7 helpful keyword targeting tips in Google Ads. So it's really going to be specific to search campaigns. So I have a search campaign open here. I'm going to get right into the tutorial. I use this campaign solely to create these videos, but I am going to be creating a free Google Ads course hopefully this month. So hopefully I'll have everything done this month and published to my YouTube channel. So we're going to get started here, and number 1 is going to be to limit your search campaigns to search network and search partners only. So when you come in here to create a new campaign, so you're in your Google Ads account, and let's just say you're trying to drive sales and you're using a search campaign to do it, you're using website visits, and we'll just say we're going to click on continue here. So you come in, you're going to name your campaign, and one of the first things you're going to see here is networks, and it's automatically going to opt you into the display network. Keywords perform much differently on the Google Display Network than they do on the Search Network and with Google Search Partners. So what I would highly recommend doing for every search campaign is make sure you do not include the Google Display Network. Just run your search campaigns on the Search Network and include Google Search Partners. So that's going to be number 1. It's a very basic tip, but it's something that a lot of new advertisers don't realize. And if I ever look at accounts that new advertisers have created, if they haven't created accounts before, a lot of times they include this because you're automatically opted into the display network when you do create your search campaigns. So just keep your campaigns on the search network and include Google Search Partners, because that's going to make sure that your ads are just reaching people who are searching keywords in search engines rather than people who are browsing different websites and maybe different YouTube videos and channels. You want to make sure that you're just reaching people as they search. So that's going to be number 1. Now, number 2 is going to be to group keywords together in different ad groups to make sure that you can create relevant ads for those keywords and drive people to very targeted landing pages. So if we open our search campaign here, I only have a few ad groups in this search campaign, but if we scroll down, you can see the different ad groups have my keywords grouped together by the theme. So you can see farmhouse cabinets, farmhouse dining tables, shelves, sinks, and even down here, copper sinks and stainless steel farmhouse sinks. So you want to make sure that you group your keywords together based on the types of landing pages where you're going to be sending traffic. So if I know someone's searching specifically for farmhouse copper sinks, and I come into my website over here, you can see I have a farmhouse sinks shop page with all these different categories. Rather than sending people directly to this page, I can make sure I'm sending people to this copper farmhouse sinks page. If I scroll down a little bit more, you can see I can make sure I'm sending people to my stainless steel farmhouse sinks page. If I come back over here to ad groups, I can send people who are searching specifically for farmhouse sinks. I can just send them to that broad page so they can find the one that they're looking for. But if people are searching for copper sinks, stainless steel sinks, I can make sure that I'm sending them to the best possible landing pages, and I can make sure that my ads match the actual keywords that they're searching. Now, number 3 is going to be to avoid broad match keywords without a modifier. So if I come in here to farmhouse cabinets, for example, and we're looking at the keywords that we're targeting, so you can see I was targeting the exact match version of this keyword, and I was targeting the modified broad match version of this keyword, or broad match modifier version. So if we come in here and we're adding new keywords, you can see there's some different keyword match types down here. There's broad match, where you just enter the keyword with no quotes, no brackets, no plus signs, so really no modifiers at all. There's phrase match, so that you would put your keywords in quotes, and there's exact match where you would put your keywords in brackets. If I'm targeting the keyword farmhouse cabinets, I never want to come in here and type in farmhouse cabinets. I want to make sure I'm including modifiers. So what you want to do is make sure you're including these plus signs here, because that's going to make sure that people are actually typing in these words or words that are very similar to them that have the same user intent, rather than just keeping things very broad. So use modifier broad match keywords rather than using broad match keywords altogether. If you're coming in here and you have all your ad groups and you're targeting keywords like farmhouse cabinets, and we have a separate ad group, let's say, and you're doing farmhouse shelves, and then you have another ad group with farmhouse sinks, you're going to have a very broad search terms that might not be all that relevant for the keywords that you're trying to target. So it can be useful for really high budget campaigns, but it's going to make organizing your campaigns and organizing your ad groups much more difficult. So I'd highly recommend making sure that you're targeting these broad match modifier keywords. If you want to keep things a little bit broader, then that's what you want to target. You can also target phrase match or exact match keywords. I would recommend just choosing one of the 3 different keyword targeting options when you're creating your ad groups. I used to have it set up so I would target these broad match modifier keywords, and then I would also target the exact match version of it in each individual ad group. But the way I do it now is a little bit different. And that's going to bring me into number 4. If you're trying to expand your campaigns a little bit and you want to target a little bit more broader keywords and you want to include synonyms and different types of things. So for example, if I want to target farmhouse cabinets, and I don't mind if someone goes to Google and types in something like, so we'll get rid of this for now, and let's say someone types in rustic cabinets for sale. So I consider rustic cabinets to be very similar to farmhouse cabinets. I consider this word to be a synonym when it comes to home and garden. So if someone types in rustic cabinets for sale, if I'm targeting just this broad match modifier keyword, then my ads might actually show for this keyword. Now, the other thing I can do is just target the exact match version here, so we'd get rid of this broad match modifier, and then you would make sure that your ads are not showing at all for when people do type in something like rustic cabinets for sale. So if you're trying to keep things more narrow and really more targeted, then I would recommend using the phrase match or exact match version of the keywords. So you would use this, or you would use farmhouse cabinets as you're setting up your ad groups. Otherwise, if you want things to be more broad, you want to expand your campaigns, you want a little bit more search volume, and you want to match for some of these different synonym keywords, then what you would do is just come here and you would target farmhouse cabinets, because ultimately what Google's going to do is look at user intent and look at the keyword that you're targeting and say, okay, this person's targeting farmhouse cabinets. Someone just typed in rustic cabinets for sale. We think that this is going to be a good match because it's going to be very similar to what this person is looking for. And if you just look over here to the right hand side, you can see rustic farmhouse decor is one of the main keywords that comes up based on my website and based on the keywords that I'm targeting. So you can see rustic is really just a synonym of farmhouse. So if someone types in this keyword, I don't have a problem with my ad showing for it, because when they go to my website, they're going to see rustic cabinets for sale. So that's really how you want to look at it. So number 4 is broad match modifier keywords, specifically for expansion, for testing. So you can test some different keywords that people are typing in, and for larger budgets. If you have a smaller budget, you want things to be a little bit more narrow, then you might want to use exact match or phrase match keywords. However, the one downside to those is it could increase your costs a little bit because you're not expanding the amount of keywords that you're going to target and the amount of search terms that your ads are going to show for. So that's going to be number 4. Now next is going to be number 5, and number 5 is don't worry about misspellings or keyword order or anything like that, or plurals. So if someone comes in here, let's say you're targeting the keyword farmhouse cabinets. So we'll keep the same exact example we've been using, and we're going to come down here a little bit. And let's just say, for example, someone goes into Google and they type in the keyword and they miss the R here. So they do farmhouse cabinets. You don't need to target this keyword. Google is going to understand that this person is looking for farmhouse cabinets. So you will match with that search term by just targeting this keyword here. Same thing if someone does cabinets farmhouse style. So if someone types in something like this into Google, it'll still match your keyword. So don't worry about the order of keywords. And this goes the same for exact match keywords as well. So even if you're just targeting something like farmhouse cabinets, you don't need to worry if someone types in a keyword just like farmhouse cabinet. So this will still match for this keyword. And the same thing with misspellings, with plurals. If someone comes in here and does farmhouse cabinets, they enter apostrophes or anything like that, you don't need to target all these separate keywords. So don't worry about misspellings, don't worry about keyword order, and don't worry about plurals. Just target the keywords that you're targeting. So if you're targeting farmhouse cabinets, you don't need to enter 10 different variations to make sure that anytime someone misspells the keyword or someone orders the words a little bit differently, you're still going to show with your advertisements in the Google search results. Even if someone types in something a little bit different than the way you've targeted your keyword, Google again looks at intent. They're looking at what keyword this person is typing in, and they understand some of the most common misspellings that people do. So you might find some misspellings in your search terms if people commonly misspell your terms. However, you don't really need to worry about it. You don't need to target those keywords separately. It's still going to be handled when you're targeting your keywords, whether it's exact match, phrase match, or broad match modifier keywords. So that's going to be number 5. Okay, so now we're going to get out of this for now and come into number 6. So number 6 is going to be to understand. So if we click on our search campaign here and we come into our search terms report, understand the importance of negative keywords and building negative keyword lists for your campaigns. So if we come into the search terms report here, we're going to be able to see the search terms. So these are what people are actually typing in: farmhouse sink, sinks, copper. So you can see some of these top search terms here that people are typing in, and you want to make sure that you're adjusting your campaign, adjusting your ad groups, and making sure that your campaign is really organized and that you're not targeting keywords that are irrelevant for your business. So something like rustic farmhouse dining table, very relevant. Now, if we come down here to farmhouse cabinets and you see farmhouse china cabinet, I might say, okay, maybe I can create a page on my website specifically for farmhouse china cabinets, farmhouse corner cabinets, so I can make sure that as people do type in the keywords that I'm trying to target, I can send them to the best landing pages. I can make sure that my ads are as relevant as possible for those different searches. Now, when it comes to farmhouse sinks, you're going to see things like farm space house sinks. Again, this is a close variant, so a misspelling, the order is a little bit different. Someone puts a space between farmhouse sinks. You don't need to target those keywords separately. So someone does farm sinks. Again, it's a close variant, so I don't need to type in even farmhouse or farm sinks separately. It's still going to be covered by the keywords that I'm targeting, but these are going to be fine. I don't need to create separate ad groups for this, but some of these other ones, I might be able to create a better user experience for my customers, and ultimately that's going to help my click-through rate, which is going to help my campaign performance over time. So if we look at some of these rows here, we'll look at the top 50 keywords, we'll look by impressions, you can look by cost, you can see which search terms are driving the most conversions for your business, and really put your budget towards those search terms. So we keep scrolling down here a little bit. And now as we get down here, you're going to see something like inexpensive copper farmhouse apron sinks with garbage disposal drain. So maybe what I want is I don't want inexpensive at all in my search advertising campaign with Google Ads. So if I click here, what I can do is add as a negative keyword. So I'll add a negative keyword. Rather than adding this specific keyword here, I can just say, okay, to the campaign level, I don't want people who are typing in the word inexpensive. So if anybody types in inexpensive, I can also add other keywords like cheap or free. I can make sure that I'm really targeting people who are looking for the high quality options that I have on my website, and make sure that I'm not trying to find people who are just bargain hunters, who might be looking for the lowest possible price, who might just be comparison shopping right now. I want to reach people who aren't comparison shopping, who know they want a copper farmhouse sink. They come to my website, they see the selection, and hopefully buy one. So if I click on save here, now I'm going to add this new negative keyword. So using your search terms report, using negative keywords is really important for campaign success. And if we keep scrolling down here and I look at some of these other options, you can see Better Homes and Gardens farmhouse cabinet. So I want to make sure that I have a Better Homes and Gardens farmhouse cabinet on my website. And what I might want to do again is separate that out into a separate ad group and send people specifically to a landing page for all the cabinets on my website that are from Better Home and Gardens. So you can also come in here and remove brand names. So I can just say add as a negative keyword and just say, you know what, if someone's looking specifically for Better Homes and Gardens, then I'll come here, add that as a phrase match negative keyword. So it could be someone searching for IKEA farmhouse cabinets or some different brand names like that. I can just come in here and add IKEA as a negative keyword and make sure that my ads aren't showing when people are looking for specific brands, especially if I don't have them on my website. It's the same thing when people are looking for eBay or Amazon or Craigslist or any of these different things that people might type in, depending on what they're looking for. If your website isn't set up to handle that person's search, you might just want to remove those search terms altogether. Now you can wait for more data and see if those search terms are still driving conversions, and if they are, then you don't have to remove them yet. But I generally remove brand names, and I'll just take Better Homes and Gardens, remove it from my campaign, unless I'm going to be targeting it specifically and making sure that people are going to see those types of products on the landing pages where I'm sending traffic to. So I'll take this, I'll remove this keyword altogether, and then we can make sure that we're not targeting it anymore. So number 6, make sure that you're using your search terms report here. So if you come to keywords, you have your search keywords, your negative keywords, and your search terms report. Use the search terms report to find negative keyword ideas and continuously add negative keywords. And when you're adding negative keywords, there's a couple different options you can do. If we click add as negative keyword here, you can add exact match negative keywords. Otherwise, what you can do is add phrase match negative keywords. So I can do better homes and gardens. So I can take this negative keyword as a phrase match type. And then the other thing you can do is broad match negative keywords. Usually I'll only do single words for broad match negative keywords. So if I just don't want the word gardens in my search campaign, if I don't want the word IKEA in my search campaign, then I'll just add it as a broad match negative keyword. So there are different negative keyword match types. So you should keep that in mind as you are targeting keywords in Google Ads. Now, last but not least, when you're targeting search keywords, you might not know what you should set for your max CPC. So if you have enhanced CPC bid strategy here, I come down, I'm targeting some of these different keywords. You might see below first page bid, and a lot of times they're not showing because I have a low ad rank, and I probably have a low quality score for a lot of these keywords because I haven't really optimized this campaign that well. So if you're seeing some really high bids here, the first thing you want to do is optimize for your quality score. So create multiple relevant ads in each ad group, make sure that you're driving people to the best landing pages. However, if you're just looking for some different ideas for max CPC as you set up your campaign, you don't know how much advertisers are bidding, this is where the keyword planner comes in handy. So as you're creating your campaign, you come to tools and settings here, you're setting up your bids, come to planning and go to keyword planner. Now we're going to open the keyword planner here. And what you want to do is click on discover new keywords. So let's just say I'm doing farmhouse decor, farmhouse sinks, farmhouse cabinets, and we'll just use some of these different examples here. So you can enter all the different keywords that you're interested in, that you want to target for your search campaign. And we click on get results. And you can see we come down here, you're going to see some of these different keywords that we're targeting. What Google is going to give you is the low range for the top of page bid. So the lower amount that some advertisers are bidding for this keyword to reach that top of page, and then some of the higher ranges. So farmhouse cabinet, advertisers are bidding as low as 22 cents all the way up to $2.40. So if you're not sure what you should set it at, what you might want to do is just take a middle number. Maybe you just want to take a little bit of a lower number. So if I take $2.40, maybe what I want to do is start with farmhouse cabinets, and I'm just going to target this keyword, and maybe I want to come in here and I just want to set my bid for farmhouse cabinets. We'll set it at $1.20. So that way I'm setting a competitive bid as I enter the ad auction. It's probably going to be a lower bid. I'm not going to have that top of page bid all that often. But as I optimize my campaign and improve my quality score, I can make sure that my ads are actually showing in the search results. So we come back over here to keyword ideas. We have farm sink, farmhouse sink, and you can see advertisers are bidding up to $2.50 for some of these keywords. And at the low range, it's around 90 cents. So if I want to show up at all for this keyword, I probably have to bid at least $1.50. So we're going to come over to search keywords. We have farmhouse sinks here, and we'll come in here to adjust our bid. We'll set a manual bid, and we'll bid at least $1.50. And it's going to be similar for things like stainless steel farmhouse sinks, farmhouse copper sinks. So maybe for these two, I'll click on both of them. We can click on edit up here at the top, change max CPC bids, and we'll set new bids. You can also raise your bids to the first page CPC, raise bids to top of page CPC. So a couple options that you have. You can also increase bids by a percentage with an upper bid limit to make sure you're not bidding over a certain amount, or decrease bids by a percentage, same thing, lower bid limit. So I'll set new bids, and we'll just say we'll bid $1.25 on these keywords, click on apply, and then you can always see the type of volume that you're getting, see how many impressions you're getting. So you can see my impressions, my clicks, click-through rate, my cost over here. So you really want to bid as low as possible to drive the best targeted traffic to your website. That's really your goal over time. Now, a big thing is going to be your quality score. And again, your quality score is going to be based on your click-through rate. So a higher click-through rate is always better. It's going to be based on your ad relevance, your ads and extensions, and your landing page experience. So when someone types in farmhouse dining tables, I need to show them an ad that's related to their search term and send them to a landing page that's going to be very relevant to what they're looking for. So that's going to be number 7, is to use the Google Keyword Planner and look at some of the bids here to come up with bid ideas for the keywords that you're targeting. And if we come back over here to Google Ads, you're also going to see things like this below first page bid. You can always just click here and set it to the first page of search results to make sure that your ads are actually showing up, and then hopefully decrease those bids over time. I generally just keep them as low as possible when I'm first starting out with my campaign, and try to get my quality scores as high as possible. So that way I can really bid lower over the course of time. I'm not spending a ton of money in the beginning as I'm testing and as I'm learning about my campaign, because it's ultimately going to drive down my historical conversion rate if I'm spending more money on each individual click. So it's really kind of a push and pull and trying to find what's going to give you the best results as you create your campaign and as you target keywords. So those are my 7 tips, is some different things to keep in mind. So again, limit your search campaigns to search network and search partners. Do not run your search campaigns on the display network. Use Broad Match Modifier keywords to expand and test and kind of get more search volume from your campaigns. and use exact match keywords if you want to keep things more targeted and as relevant as possible. You don't want to show up for synonyms. You don't want to show up for keywords that might not be related to what you're targeting. So exact match keywords would come in handy for that. So if you have lower budgets, you might want to use exact match keywords. Unless you are using broad match modifier keywords, you want to make sure that you're looking at your search terms regularly and adding negative keywords all the time. And again, you don't have to worry about misspellings or any of those types of things. Google will handle all of that for you. One of the best tips, again, that I can give you is as you're creating your ad groups, make sure that you group your keywords together as best as possible so your landing pages are really relevant. You're sending people to the best possible landing pages based on what they're searching for. And the more organized you can create your campaign, the lower you can bid over time because Google will reward you with a higher quality score. Now, the last thing I want to go through is in keyword matching options, broad match is the default match type. So if you don't put any modifiers, you just type a keyword in, you click on enter, you're going to be targeting broad match keywords. If we scroll down here, we're going to see some different examples of when your ads would show for the 4 different keyword match types: broad match modifier, phrase match, and exact match. So for broad match, let's say you're targeting the keyword women's hats. So your ad might show up for keywords like women's clothing, so not targeted at all, women's scarves. So I would say all of these should be in separate ad groups. That's why I never target broad match keywords. If we keep scrolling down, you're going to see broad match modifier. So for this one, you put a plus sign in front of the keyword. You're targeting the keyword women's hats here. So you're going to see this would show for things like women's scarves and hats. So at least someone is typing in hats here. It also will show things for hats for stylish ladies. So it's going to take ladies and say anybody who's typing in the keyword hats for stylish ladies are looking for women's hats. So that's why I like broad match modifier keywords, because it's going to expand the keywords that you're targeting a little bit, but it's also going to keep things very targeted. So you don't have to worry about your ad groups being irrelevant to what people are searching, which is going to happen constantly if you're using broad match keywords. Keep scrolling down, you're going to see phrase match keywords. I don't generally use phrase matches often, but you're going to see things here, women's hats. So it'll show ladies hats on sale, buy hats for women, blue women's hats. So a little bit more targeted than broad match modifier. But again, I would just recommend either using broad match modifier, or if you want things to be as targeted as possible, using exact match keywords. So with this, you're going to put brackets around the keyword. You're going to see women's hats, and it's only going to show for really targeted keywords: women's hats, ladies hats, hats for women, hats women. So you're going to keep things as targeted as possible with exact match keywords, and with broad match modifier keywords, you can expand your campaigns a little bit. But again, the biggest tips I can give you is never use broad match keywords, and make sure your search campaigns are only running on the search network and to search partners. And if you start with some of those different tips and you start organizing your campaigns into different ad groups, you really start to improve your landing pages and your advertisements over time. You're going to start getting what you want out of your campaigns, which is going to be conversions in the form of sales, leads, or whatever your key performance indicators are. So these are some different keyword targeting tips. Hopefully you learn more about targeting search keywords with your Google Ads campaigns. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.